Howdy.
Hi, Pete. How you doing?
Sam. We're back.
It does feel like we're back.
Some undisclosed warehouse.
Undisclosed warehouse in the
It's our second home, actually.
in the O'Hare area. Literally.
So what are we gonna do today?
We're gonna answer a couple more questions and
Cool.
let people know that we are going back out on the road to do more shows, some headline shows this time, which I think we've only done 5 headline shows this year. Or no, 3.
Yeah, we did a lot of touring, not a lot of headliners.
Not a lot of headline shows.
So that's what we're gonna finish the year out with strong, right? Got a new water bottle. BPA free.
What's your problem with BPA?
Camelback. I don't know. If that's good or not, but I like it.
What's
Yeah,
your
what's
problem
my
with
problem?
BPAs?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did BPA ever do to you?
They taste fine, as far as I know. I don't know.
They warm your belly. All right, so we've got a bunch of questions that that we've been putting together that people have been sending to us, and then of course we're getting Tony's getting sent questions. Hi, Tony.
Hello.
It's funny. I was gonna post a picture of Tony up, but his face is just a square block,
Oh yeah.
blank square block.
Anytime you take a photo,
Yeah, it just comes
anything
up
at
like
a
it's his body.
family function, it's a square.
Yeah, but
lot.
his face just doesn't show up. It's just maybe I'll show you guys at the end of this. It just kind of looks like this. All right.
We're so funny. Get to the
Yeah,
questions. Burt
Well-
Reynolds, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of don't slap me.
No, I wouldn't do that.
So our first show is on the 22nd of November. We're going to the 15th of December. We're doing
Yeah, where's that? What are we doing?
I gotta look at my schedule.
Oh, I
think
thought
North-
you had
North
it right
Car-
there. I thought
North-
that was info. Sorry, guys.
North Carolina.
Is it?
Yeah. You know what I like about streaming is that there's no urgency to it. It's just kind of you
Mm-hmm.
being normal.
It is nice. This is what I imagine like.
Cherokee, North Carolina, November 22nd. I couldn't remember the name of the actual
Okay.
city,
cool.
but
See you there.
we're doing 2 casinos on this, which is the 14th of December and the 22nd of November. And we actually really like playing casinos because it gives us something fun and different to do during the day and after the show at night.
Mostly after.
Pete pretty much travels with the deed to his house in his back pocket just in case something comes up. and
Feeling
it's like,
lucky.
It's a for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That. There's a lot of questions about like what's your least favorite song to play, but I don't want to answer that because I don't really have a probably least. Well, now I am answering it.
Yeah.
The singles are the things that you like don't rehearse anymore because even though we rehearse them like one time before we do a tour because
I've been
wanna,
pretty vocal about,
yeah
you know,
wanting to play the Red 9 times in a row.
randomly saying this might be the last time we play the Red ever. So it
Yeah.
does kind of wear on you a little bit, but a funny thing happened to me once. I think it was like beginning of the year. I actually almost screwed up the Red just because I hadn't played it in so long. So that was kind of funny. It probably would have made it more memorable.
It's kind of like saying a word over and over and over, like road.
Sometimes.
That's what it's like. You play it so many
Yeah.
times, you know it so well, and for some reason you just make a mistake in like a normal place. But this tour, we're doing a couple more deep cuts. We're trying to do, we kind of have we kind of making the set list with singles, stuff that we haven't played before in that market,
Mm-hmm.
some crowd favorites, some deep cuts, things that we want to play, and then also recently we looked at a bunch of like Spotify and Apple Music and Pandora and these kind of things, what the list was on there that people listen to the most, and we took some stuff off of there too. So
Yeah. I was working on the set list actually a little bit today before this started, so we're gonna be. I can say a few of them.
Yeah.
You want? We've rehearsed Hunter Eats Hunter, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna bring that back into the fold. Of course, we brought Envy back in these last 2 shows, so we'll probably keep doing that. And then also possibly a new cover. So that one's short and sweet, a little homage to I won't give it away, but
Our
someone that we
I
looked up to.
want to play the lighter stuff, but when you play live, the heavier songs they go over live. People just react better to it. So when you play some of the lighter songs, like Twinge and Envy and things like that, people tend to go and get a beer or talk to their friend next to them really loudly, and so it's not as interesting. That's all.
I don't know. I mean, we don't know what they. At the end of the day, we don't really know what's going on up there. We're up there doing that. They're down there having fun.
Not me. Those songs, I'm sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, well, there you go. So you're going to get the beer.
Trying to engage.
That's what's happening
in a conversation.
And we figured it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody ever brings me beer.
Poor guy.
So some people asked about another DVD. It would be fun to do another DVD. I think we definitely could. Now with the way the internet is and everything, I think we could do it fairly easily.
Yeah, I think our next DVD will be so much better. Than the last one we did. That one sucked balls, if you ask me. It didn't turn out the way I had hoped. We had some technical things that came in the day of that it got
and this way we don't
stepped on. Things happened that you guys don't need to know. But next time will be so much better.
Yeah, and I think we'll do it on this next cycle.
Yeah.
The next record cycle. So
yeah.
The stage setup is, so we did a long summer tour. This stage setup has some of the same stuff and some new stuff. So the production for this I don't know, this idea, this run, was don't flash all the lights in everybody's faces, try and light the stage more.
Oh, I think we still did that.
I think we still did that too.
We tried.
But not as much.
Yeah.
It wasn't as much as in the past.
Yeah. Well.
Which is fun too, it's just different.
Yeah.
So, Pete does bring acoustic guitars on the road. You should tell people what you bring on the road to practice with. What are you playing? You playing that little?
I have one of my favorite Gibson acoustics. It's a small bodied guitar that I love, but I recently bought a traveler sized guitar.
It's amazing.
That's a full scale. It just doesn't have a headstock on it, so it looks really funny.
And a small body.
It's tiny body. Kind of like what Michael J. Fox played in Back to the Future. If you go back and watch that scene where he, it's the beginning of the movie and he blows himself backwards, that guitar is tiny because that dude was pretty small. Anyway, when I play it, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm in that movie.
Yeah, I don't think he's a big guy, but it's a tiny little yellow guitar, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tiny. I don't know what it is.
That's classic. Back to the Future.
Classic.
I recently watched
good shit.
All 3 of those in a row, like last year. They were great.
Deep.
Yeah. Some people also asked about whether you have a signature guitar.
A signature model guitar?
I think so. I think it's kind of the way it comes out.
I do not. I've been playing Fender for a while, which it's been going well. I love them. I love the feel of a Strat.
They're Frankenstein guitars. Though.
Yeah. But I have to mod them. I have to change them up a lot. I have to change pickups. I have to change them out. I have to make them solid so that I can play drop tunings and things like that. I do need a signature model guitar, not necessarily to sell, but to almost like Matt Bellamy does. Literally like Matt Bellamy does from Muse. Like he has a guitar that's decked out so that he can do what he needs to live, and essentially I do sort of need that. There are things I have to do to my guitars to prevent once I started playing Fender, I realized that if I jumped around too much, the way it's designed, the strap would fold over the front and it would get stuck. So I actually have to screw the strap in with a long drywall screw.
Yeah.
It's so there's lots of things. Those things should be worked out. I'm just doing it kind of like, rough versions of it right now. So
I mean, I like the fact that your guitars are tools and they're kind of welded together.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I am thankful to Fender for their support that they've given me, but I don't know. It doesn't look like that's really happening. I don't know why. It's just they probably have things going on as well.
oh, I see.
So I'm not against it. I would definitely do it with anyone at this point. Anyway, next question.
Let's see here. Somebody asked, what do you collect from other musicians? We don't collect anything from other musicians.
Other musicians. I have not a lot. I have a couple signed things from Paige Hamilton from Helmet. When we did that Snowcore tour, we got to know him
Yeah,
really
that's
well.
right. I have one of those too.
So that's kind of one of my favorite signed things.
Allison Chain signed a poster for me.
Yeah.
I think you have one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was nice. Those guys are great.
Daryl Jr.
Dale Jr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. We haven't seen him
No.
since that night. We once went out with him.
It was like 15 years.
He came to a show. We went drinking. Then we went back to his ranch, and he drove like a madman.
It's
Anyway,
fun.
we ended up drinking moonshine
Yeah.
in his house.
He drove us in his Suburban on his go-kart track.
And then everything got blurry, and he ended up giving me a guitar that he was given from like Budweiser.
Yeah.
So I have that from Dale Earnhardt Jr., which
Thanks,
is
Dale.
I gotta break that thing out and see if it.
It's true, we haven't seen him since
No.
that was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably something like that.
Yeah. Trippy.
Yeah. All right. Well.
We do have a lot of our own gear. We should talk about that. Are
There's
we
a
gonna
bunch
start
of gear here.
letting some of this go? Do you want to like pan that and go?
Could you pan down this line?
And
Camera.
like we're gonna start selling some of this stuff soon because
We have
it's
a few
collecting, and
amplifiers.
that's just a smidge of things that need to go soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tony.
We do have a lot of gear that's like.
A lot of stuff that like these amps were played on tour. These cabinets, they have they were painted for certain
Yeah.
looks and things. Maybe fans
Yeah.
would like it for
That's
their
true.
their living room. Something.
Yeah.
Maybe want to burn it. Whatever.
Did you just try Mesa Triple Crown?
I did try a Triple Crown.
That's
recently.
actually in here.
Yeah.
Have you tried Mesa's new Triple Crown 100?
I did try the Triple Crown. It's at my house right now.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right?
It's a damn fine amplifier. Yes. The clean, super pristine. Blown away by that. Loved it. The dirty channel certainly gets it done. I'm doing the Mark V Mesa right now, and I need analog switching. So I know the Triple Crown is a MIDI foot switcher, so I don't know if it's going to work for me
Maybe
right
they'll
now. But
make you a special model.
that amp is seriously, it's great. Anyway,
Yeah, that's funny that was in here. That's
It's good shit.
coincidence that just came back.
those Mesa guys.
Somebody asked when we're in Orlando, Florida, and I actually can tell you. November 26th, Hard Rock Live.
We are hitting the road soon, aren't we?
Yeah, we usually start rehearsing a couple weeks before, but I've been under the weather the past couple days, which
Yeah.
is why Pete City is so far away from me.
It is.
Yeah. So I'm feeling a little bit better now. People keep asking about the timeline on our new album.
Mm-hmm.
Since the last time we talked about it, we haven't worked on it almost at all because we've been on the road.
Yeah. That's not entirely true.
Right.
On your end, that's true. On my end, I've written quite a few more songs that you are not familiar with. They're sort of like, they're in the beginning stages.
Yeah.
So
But we haven't added to the record since.
we haven't
Yeah.
recorded them properly yet.
Right.
So-
So the album's not technically any further along, although you are. That's important. But I don't know when the album's gonna come out. But I think we are going to do this tour and then not do anything for a while, so that we can get this album finished up.
That is, yes,
However
numero
long that
uno.
takes. Yeah.
Most important right when this tour is done is to focus on getting it done.
Yeah, it's the priority.
Yeah.
It's just really, really difficult. I mean, for me too, but especially for Pete to go from touring in that mindset of playing shows, playing songs live to transitioning to writing and all that.
Yeah.
It's just difficult to go back and forth.
Yeah.
So, somebody asked about tutorial videos for drums. Yes, I 100% plan on doing that. It's actually really fun for me to do it. Plus, I just play along with the songs, and then I realize too sometimes when I do that I play some things a little bit different or do a different fill or whatever, which is kind of good. But
Oh, that's not good. You're gonna get called out.
that's all right. It's good.
They're gonna be like,
The internet's gonna be angry at me.
that ain't the right shit.
So yeah, I would like to do those. You could do, I guess you could do them too if you wanted to. I don't know if you have time for that, but maybe after the album if you wanted
Yeah,
to
maybe.
do
I don't know,
3 or
we'll see.
4, 5 or 6, 8, 10, 15, maybe 20.
All right. We'll get on that.
How long does it take to rehearse a song to add it to the set list? That's a good question. It takes longer for some and less long for some, but it's up until Pete says, all right, I feel comfortable to do that.
Yeah. Typically, when we get ready to tour, I'll start a week before on a new song and try and remember all the lyrics. I'll go back and relearn them if it need be, but it usually takes 3 full rehearsals for me to feel ready to hit the road. And we usually start 2 weeks in advance. We didn't do that this time because we toured so much this year, but I need 3 solid full rundowns of the set to feel
Yeah.
like where I'm like relaxed.
And that's if it's a song that we have been taken in and out of the set. But if it's a song that we've never played live before, it would take longer. Not like a ton longer, but you know.
A week longer.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I thought I answered that correctly. You were reading messages.
I'm not reading messages.
That's okay. You don't have to hear my
I'm reading
response.
questions.
It's cool.
And yes, I was out of it.
What's another good question here?
All right. Let's go back to this because I'm getting some here. People are asking us about, because this is Dean's last tour with us for a while. So they're asking us who we have coming out to play bass with us. The answer is we have some very, very good options, and we haven't begun to rehearse with any of the very few people that we have chosen. But we've gotten some of our friends have given us some great recommendations.
Yeah.
Some of our friends have called us and offered their services. It's been positive. So, but it's just a matter of we just want to do these shows, do that, work on the
Yeah.
rest of this album, and then we'll start to work on
Yeah.
who's going to come out and play some shows with us. And it might just be different people at different times who's available, which one of our friends. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have sort of celebrity type, I want to say celebrity, that's not the right word, friends from other bands that are working, to have them come
A
out.
little
and-
more that they're already known.
Yeah.
They do their thing
So,
and just
yeah,
see how.
bands that we like that
see
are
if
our
they want
friends.
to jam with us.
Yeah, and do a tour, do 2 tours,
Yeah.
shows, whatever. Just I think that would be kind of a fun thing to do, and it also gives you like extra, just I don't know, gives you
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Good options. We haven't started yet.
Yeah,
That's
but,
coming up too.
but we're not gonna start with that until after we get this album finished. And Dean's here, so I'm not worried about that. Somebody asked if you ever had a bad show. No. No.
Yeah, good answer. There
People do talk about the acoustic album. Pete talks about doing an acoustic album. He's interested in doing that, but it's on the back burner until this album's done.
you go. I do have. I have the material for it. It just needs to be recorded properly, flushed out, and as soon as Sam and I, get this other album done, get the next record done, and or implode on each other, and say
It's not gonna happen.
take a break, take a walk, then I'll do that. But no, it's in there. That'll never happen.
It might happen.
That might happen.
You know what's funny is that there's so many questions about guitars, about
Really?
gear,
Okay.
things like that, which is fine. It just shows that people who, I think that people that listen to our music are into playing music, which I think is really good.
Themselves.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Any
They're asking about your comparison between Fender Subsonics and PRS baritones.
Oh yeah. Well, between those two, Fender Subsonics are, to me, unless you modify them and put your own pickups in, they're going to still sound, pretty stratty. Which, if that's what you're going for, cool. If you want to play heavy music, you can still do it on that, but you can mod it or not. I do mod them. The PRS were good, solid guitars. I have a good collection of them. I just decided to go a different route for a while. So
Yeah, but they do sound great. I agree.
they make good guitars.
This question, and I'm going to answer it because I'm just remembering something you can add to it, but it said, what was your most awkward fan interaction? And I was just thinking about this one where we were, after the show, something got kind of screwy, and we ended up out on the bus, and we were just supposed to meet these 2 or 3 people or something. So we were like, oh, no problem, just bring them out on the bus. And we did, and then one of the people was this girl, and she kept looking at Pete going, am I making you awkward? Am I making you feel awkward? And she wouldn't stop doing it. She did it for 5 minutes, wouldn't stop.
Mm.
That was probably the most awkward.
Yeah.
She wouldn't talk or ask a question. She'd just go, you're weird. You're looking weird. You think I'm weird.
I started to think I was after
You are.
all that. I think I know the most awkward
Go.
experience of being in a band with my brothers, and there's been many. There's been many of them, but
Most of them.
the one that comes to mind was when you and I showed up right when we were starting.
That was the worst.
This must have been 1999.
99, yeah.
And we didn't know what we were in for. Anyway, this one guy goes, "All right, you're gonna introduce yourself, and you're gonna interview each other." So we were sitting there, we're like, "Well, we've only done a few of these, and we've always had someone ask questions."
Yeah,
and he goes, "No, this will be fine. This is how we do it." He was a nice dude from England or something. He was,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, he was like, no, I've done this all the time. It always works out great. Anyway, it went so south. We were so deer in headlights. You know what I mean?
It was the worst.
That
So,
that we ended up bickering and
Yeah.
storming off, and the band broke up.
I'm going to
that
paint an
night.
additional picture. It was the 3 of us, and we were sitting next to this pool outside of somebody's house that they had. It was a condo complex, and they had given this person $80 so that we could use their bathroom, because we were going to be there for 4 hours recording a video show. It was a video playback show. And we would go to use the bathroom, and this person had a poodle in there that would just bit you the whole time.
It was a total disaster.
And we saw him
We
15
were-
years later, and he said that was by far the worst.
He didn't get anything usable from it.
Yeah.
We were like,
Good.
good.
That was awkward. Actually, also, anytime you meet anyone, and there's a bunch of people watching you meet someone, that's the most awkward thing. So you're meeting someone, you have 20 people, and you're meeting 2 people, and the other 18 are all staring at you. So you have this little interaction with these 2 people, and then you got to make it just a little bit different for the next 2 people that walk up, and the next 2
yeah.
people, but they're all watching you do it, and so it's just it's the most awkward thing, and you're trying not to look awkward, and by trying not to look awkward, you're more awkward.
Oh yeah, I mean we're the most
Do I look awkward now?
We're the most awkward dudes around.
I'm a little awkward.
You're just a really good actor.
Huh. I wouldn't say really good. Holy cow. That means an important message just came in.
Ooh.
Mr. Rogers.
Those tests results.
Yes. What's the meaning behind Mexican Sun?
They should know not to ask that stuff.
Yeah.
Come on. I don't reveal all of that. It's only the ones that I, you know. Yeah, I won't go into that. Look, a lot of the songs are written over a span of a year, so the lyrics jump around quite a bit. So sometimes the theme moves around a lot. But what I don't find interesting in music, especially rock music, is and that's if there's a lot of like rhyming, like, and a lot of lyrics starting out with, you know, you did this to me sort of vibe, or I, you know, all this, and it's just not interesting to me. So I try to get a little more poetic in our lyrics.
Yeah.
So that is what I will add.
If
to
a
this.
third grader can guess the next line of your lyric,
Yeah.
then maybe you can come up with something a little bit more creative and original. Or
Although
not.
I mean, look, you know, there's a lot of meaning to me, but there should also be a lot of meaning for other people, what they pull out of it as well. So, and it morphs over time, you know. So half the time I listen to, you know, old rock bands that I love, you know, I didn't even know what they were talking about. It was like, I thought they said one word, they said a different word in the meaning, but it was like, it's the emotion that they put into it, and it's just the magic at the time. So some songs they have deeper meanings than others. I'll just leave it there. if that answers anything.
Mexican Sun is about Mexico, right?
We already
I know.
we-
I know. Yeah, trying to see if I was right.
moving forward.
A lot of stuff about songwriting processes, but we talked about that. Somebody says, what do you do during the trip from one concert to the other? We have this thing where we do our show, and we come off the stage, shower, and usually eat dinner around 11:30, 12 o'clock at night.
We feel shame.
We feel some shame. We go to our bus where we have
We're eating French fries at, you know, midnight. So
really
yes,
good, though.
feel that shame.
but then we go back to our bus and we
Copious
usually-
amounts of beer. More
some
shame.
beer. Some more shame. We go to our bunks where we feel the most shame.
Yeah.
And we lay in our beds.
We trip over the bunk socks on the way, and that spurs on more.
About 2 a.m.
No
the,
shame
the
there.
bus starts because whoever's driving us gets back from their hotel. And we drive to the next venue. We usually park
Yeah.
around.
We sit here with our covers up, going down the road.
We live in fear from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m.
until you pass out, because you don't know if you're going to run off the road or not. If it's if you're like you're in
Yeah.
Jersey or something like that, and the roads are rough, you know, you're there's a little bit of fear involved in traveling in a tour bus.
A lot of fear involved.
Yeah.
And then you get at 10 o'clock the bus stops, and then you get about 2 hours of actual decent sleep because you've been awake all night. Because you've been on a bus for 18 years. And then, you get up, make some coffee, talk to your family, do some work, do sound check, just keep rehearsing, do your show, and do it all again. I mean, in between there, you're hoping that there's something that's close by the venue that's fun to do. Maybe just go walk around a mall or go to a coffee shop, or Dean likes to go to a museum, or
You know, definitely touring this long, I don't know if I ever could have seen. I couldn't have looked this far ahead and thought we'd still be doing it, but you never know. You never really think that, you know.
No.
You don't know the future, so don't worry about it. But now that we're starting to branch out a little bit more, trying to do more interesting things.
Yeah, when we can. I mean, it's
We're
just
not gonna tell you.
It's hard to get away
Just
from
kidding.
it's hard to get away from the venue because your mind is always on the show. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep checking these. It's funny, the Popeyes chicken sandwiches come up.
Oh yeah.
I
What's this?
will admit that I've literally never eaten at Popeyes.
Yeah, I don't know.
So when all
if I have.
when it all came up, I didn't really know what it was about. I don't even think we have a Popeyes.
Oh, wasn't there something on? It was like some meme or something like that.
I just think it's like it was a chicken sandwich that was
I don't know.
important to a lot of people.
I didn't read it, but I
I'm
saw
pretty
it.
sure we don't have a Popeyes here. Maybe you have to go west or south or south.
Yes.
Okay. All right. The guy with the square head says south. Who do you like to tour with? Actually, we're touring with two bands this time, a band called Convey and the band Royale. And it's important to us to promote stuff that we think's good, things we like that are adding to the world of music. And that's why we tour with sometimes with bands that are lesser known.
Yeah.
Because we're excited about the music. And
Yeah.
that's what we're doing this time too.
You know, that's how we got some of our first tours, which when Point Number One came out, the band Filter brought us out.
Yeah.
Just because they heard that album and they liked it and they just wanted to bring, sort of a baby band at the time and just something that they wanted to hear. So that's how we got our start too. We try and do the same thing, brought out, some bands that weren't huge at the time, but they're doing well now, like, Highly Suspect.
Yeah.
And it was a few years ago. Terrible Johnny on Twitter.
Is that his name?
I've been watching his funny
Terrible Johnny.
tweets lately. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a funny dude. Anyway, what are some other bands that we brought out? Middle Class Rut, of course.
Yeah, I love
Awesome
Middle Class
dudes.
Rut. They're still doing stuff intermittently and independently of that band too, which is great.
Yeah.
Um,
The Black.
Tony says hi.
Black Box is giving us.
Black Box says hi.
All right. Any other good questions? Anything you want to add about
I actually need to take my glasses off to read the print because it's so small.
You old man, you.
No, that makes me young.
I actually, I did this is totally random, but thinking about getting older, I did a face mask, like a facial last night. I don't really do those.
How was it?
It was like, I don't know. I was like, you're putting this mud on, and you let it dry, and then your face becomes a brick, and then you have to like chisel it off. It's great. It's not fun.
I think you just sold it for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, but
Did you and Renata do that?
am I glowing? Like the sun's coming in, so now I'm like really glowing.
Doesn't it get stuck in your beard?
Sure does. Probably have bits of it in there, right? No, but
Doesn't seem fun to me.
no, it's not. It's not great.
It's overrated, right?
Yeah, but I figure we're going on tour, trying to look good for them.
That's nice.
The folks out there.
Good person. People asked if we're coming to Japan. We would love to go to Japan. We haven't really had an offer to go to Japan that worked out. We've had like 7 offers to go to Japan, and they always fall apart before we get to do it.
Is that still okay?
Are we coming to South America? We would also love to come to South America. That would be really cool to happen in 2020. Maybe it will. Maybe 2021. But we're always trying to put that stuff together.
I want to get back to France, Paris, France. We always have a good time there.
Yeah.
We always do so many interviews, and they shower us with praise, and I just, who doesn't love that?
Especially in France.
Yeah, they're like, you need to come back more often. We're like, okay, yeah, we want to. We love it here. It's just, it's far, and you got to get out there. So, soon.
Somebody asked about a Chevelle Fest, and yeah, we had this idea of, would it be cool to go somewhere, like rent a hotel or something like that, and just do
So make like a weekend
like a weekend
thing where we play a couple shows.
Yeah, play a couple
at
shows.
at a
Yeah, maybe do some
event
events.
center.
At one place. Have it be like a vacation, like a weekend trip, and then we would do a couple shows and
mingle, hang out,
mingle, drink.
do more of this, answering questions, and
which, by the way, would also be fun to do.
Drinking, yeah, exactly.
To do like more than one show, but do a drunk show, because we're pretty careful not to get too tipsy, because it falls apart, of course. But it'd be kind of fun to do like just a 5-6 song set where you really do fall apart.
Oh,
Just
actually, like
fall apart.
say, okay, tonight
We're gonna drink a beer every song.
We're gonna play Hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that. I'd
Drink
give it
a beer
shot.
every
As
song.
long as we put it out there first.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It would show up on the internet. It'd be, Chevelle is terrible. Look at this video of them.
Yeah.
That was a drunk
Pretty
show.
much. You
You just prefaced the whole thing with being the drunk show.
I like it.
I'm here. My hotel room's here. I'm hammered. Yeah. I mean, we covered a bunch of stuff about this tour, but other than that, we got some new merch that we're excited about. That worked out really well for this run. And yeah, we're looking forward to Thanksgiving on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat seafood in Florida.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Me too.
Be
Tuna
good.
fish sandwiches.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving tuna fish.
Yeah.
It's what the original settlers would have wanted. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Can you give us an update on Wesley? Your dog?
Oh yeah, Wesley. Yeah.
I know you know it's your dog. I said Wesley, your dog, so
Yeah.
people understand I'm talking about a dog.
Yeah. So I did make a post about Wesley, my 13-year-old Yorkie. We got good news, great news. Happy to share. He had a big operation. He had a
tiny operation.
tiny because he's 8 pounds, but they had to take out his spleen. It had some tumors in it. They turned out to be non-cancerous, so we are super happy about that, because that was a rough kind of thing, but it's good news, and he's on the mend, and
Good man.
yeah. So yeah, thanks for asking that.
So I think we'll continue on doing these live streams. 'Cause I
Twitch
think
conversations.
Yeah, it's good for us too, because we can collect questions and stuff as time goes by, and then we have this stuff. But it's good for us, and I think we'd like to be more. I don't know. It's just good to get it out.
A little more connected.
Yeah, a little more connected.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, say bye.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, gals.